Coming up on Wolf Tracks. Today, we take a look at some of the major electives as we take a tour of South Kitsap High School. We're also going to go over the renovations made to one of the big programs here, as well as some student reactions to one of the major changes made to the schedule. Follow along and stay close as we cover some of the biggest changes here in one of the largest 4A schools in the state. Hey, welcome back to Wolf Tracks. I'm Levi from WTV, and we're here at South Kitsap High School. Today we're taking a look at some of the amazing programs that are offered to students as they prepare for their futures. Behind me is the WTV studio, where students of the video production program broadcast live each day to the school and surrounding community. Each day, 8 to 10 students put together this broadcast to keep students, staff, and other viewers informed about things going on in the style of a professional newsroom. However, they all didn't start here. Those interested in a career in video all start with the beginning class, Video Communications 1.
You want to go into the film industry? If so, Video Communication 1 is the best place to start. At South Kitsap, we offer a variety of classes, including Video Communication 1, where you can learn how to work with cameras and edit the videos you filmed using professional equipment and softwares.
VC1 really is about the production process as a whole. We sit down and look at pre-production, which is your script writing, planning, production, which is the actual filming, so we teach gear use, we teach how to actually light a set, get good quality sound, and then post-production, which is the editing side, special effects, sound, audio mixing, and then really how to make a nice, smooth-looking, visually appealing project.
Some information from current Video Communication 1 student.
Finished a chase scene where we were editing someone getting chased down after they stole a bag from someone that I assume was robbing an ambulance. Which is interesting.
They don't only stay in school, they also have after-school events to film.
So the video program as a whole, not just necessarily VC1, we do a lot of different things after school. We do a lot of filming of different multicam events. Those include concerts, we do NJROTC, we of course do sports, football, basketball, wrestling. We try to hit every sport at least twice during the school year, the exception being to those locations that we don't have internet access, like the baseball fields, for example. We also conclude the year with our big graduation ceremony in the Tacoma Dome, and we film that too.
The equipment used may look simple, but they also amount to a total of $1,700, so proper management is needed.
We're talking the basics. So we're gonna start every group that joins VC1, how to use a tripod and how to use a camera at a functional level. It doesn't mean you know everything about a camera, it doesn't mean you're an expert, but you should be able to take a camera gear with basic audio recording equipment and capture a good quality shot or a good quality scene. We then build on that knowledge and go into more depth as we get into VC2 and above.
Curious about what an average day of class looks like?
I'm not sure there is an average day in video. I think if there's one constant that's always present is we try to teach things hands-on. So we really are looking for, instead of just simply, hey, let's take some notes and learn about an idea, we're actually gonna get gear in our hands and go out and practice it in a hands-on setting, as opposed to something that's just kind of static in the classroom. We rarely sit for more than 5-10 minutes in a period before we're off either recording, editing, writing scripts, and doing something that's actually representing that production process as a whole.
For those who want to go further into video production, Video Communication 2 and Advanced Video Communications is also available.
If live action filming isn't your style of video, SK also features a robust 3D animation program. Several of them even recently finished second in a statewide competition.
Some of the fastest growing classes, 3D modeling and animation, have become incredibly popular in the few years they've been around.
So both classes are semester long. So we have beginning 3D modeling and animation and advanced 3D modeling and animation. Advanced is actually a new addition. We only started offering it this year, and it was created by popular demand. So had to give the kids what they wanted. And then we were able to explore more things. So in beginning 3D, we do a lot of stuff about like the kinds of animation and the principles of animation, but then everything is really focused on Blender projects. And I do a lot of guided instruction, walking people through how to create things, but it's still pretty basic. They do create like a 30-second animation for a final project at the end of that class, But then once we get into advanced, we get into like more advanced things like path animations, doing inverse kinematics, doing physics within our animations and making things actually look more realistic, doing texturing, things like that.
Being such broad classes, there are many reasons people choose to take them.
I took them because I thought it'd be fun to make something like in a computer software, because I haven't done that before, and I'm not a great animator, but I figured, maybe if a computer could help me, then it'd be fun. And it turned out being really fun, actually. I got to make really fun creations.
I was kind of just interested in changing mediums within art. I've always been a very traditional artist. I'd never do anything like digital, and honestly, I don't regret taking the classes. It was honestly really fun, and I'm glad I did.
Many people assume that 3D modeling and animation is just used in making movies and video games, but it is used in all kinds of jobs.
There's a lot of transferable skills no matter what occupation you're doing, but doing 3D modeling and animation can prepare you for things in like marketing. I also know the director of community development for the city of Port Orchard, and he thought that having somebody with a foundation in Blender would really help them become an urban planner. There's architectural drafting. Our fields are really similar. So architectural drafting, if you don't know, is like creating homes from like in a software. Like basically everything that you see in a building was most likely created in a blueprint in architectural drafting. And then I also met this really fascinating woman named Kay, and she does the designing of toys. And some of the toys that she designed were in Happy Meals from when I was a kid. So, I mean, it was like really fascinating, and the way she described the process, I realized like, hey, what I'm teaching my kids to do, the 3D modeling in my classes, are preparing them to do exactly what this woman is doing. So I looked at her website and the things that she's doing, it's just absolutely fascinating.
Both classes have so much to offer to new and returning students.
So those that enjoyed beginning 3D animation and just didn't feel like they got enough out of it really should take advanced 3D animation. And then they should also join 3D WIT, 3D Worlds and Interactive Technology. So I know right now some of my kids are working on creating intros for WTV. And some people are preparing for competition. I know we're also going to participate in Night of the Arts, because you can do, you can do painting and ceramics, but you can also create art on a computer. And I think that's why inviting our kids to take beginning 3D animation is just so valuable, because it counts as an art credit. And some kids are like, I suck at drawing. And you know what? That is completely fine. And some kids also say, I suck at computers. You know what? I don't care. Like, go ahead and come in here. I'm going to start you from like complete ground zero, and I'm going to bring you like step by step through how to use our software, and you're going to be able to create like beautiful compositions by the end of the semester.
Students who have taken the classes say that they are some of the best offered.
It's a really fun class. I think it's, along with it being kind of an easy A, especially if you're a learner, it's very beginner friendly for a beginning class, and I think it does the beginning class does transition you well into the advanced class.
It's a great way to meet friends. I met so many friends here, and it's just a fun experience, and you get to learn a bunch of new things, and then you get to be proud of the creations you make. And it's a great class.
Everyone knows that South has a very large amount of students, but those numbers also help support the largest elective program in the state. Because of that, these hallways can get a little crowded right after classes get out. To help with this, a major schedule change now gives students a little bit more time to move from class to class.
Something we follow every day has changed. At the start of the second semester of year 2024, South Kitsap High School adopted the new bell schedule. This has brought in positive feedback on getting to class on time.
I get to like hang out with my friends more. And I can still get to be on time with my classes because they're more far apart this semester.
My classes are a lot closer, and even if they weren't, I'd still have enough time to get to my class.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It definitely made things better for me to get to class on time and not be late.
With how much passing period has now, hallways appear to be slightly slower and crowded.
A lot more people out talking. I think there's a bit more of a crowdedness.
Things definitely go a little slower.
I think with a longer passing, there has been a little bit of resolvement in the crowded hallway issue.
The same thing can be said for lunches, which mostly first lunch has been observed to be more crowded.
It's definitely a lot more crowded for the first bit of it.
It's so much more crowded and convoluted to get anywhere now.
They wouldn't let me eat for 10 minutes straight. I know it was like passing period, but
Thankfully, the added time to passing relieves the worry of tardies.
I'm not concerned at all.
I was, even before the bell schedule, I wasn't really worried about tardies.
No, I didn't really have any problems with tardies before the new bell schedule.
Mostly, classes appear to be virtually unchanged.
If I'm there early, I get a lot of time to get ready for class, and once it starts, I'm just ready.
Not really in class. The most it's changed is like third period of course.
Not really. Most of my classes are the same.
The new bell schedule is located all across school. You can also find it online. Go to skhs.skschools.org/r-school/bell-schedules. All in all, the new passing period has brought positive and negative impacts to South Kitsap High School.
It's a big campus, and it took us only about 5 minutes to get down to one of the more remote areas of the school, the pool. After a big renovation, it is back up and running to offer classes that have been missing from SK for a few years now.
Most of us know about the South Kitsap High School swimming pool being a home for various swim classes, sports, and community programs. With the pool closing in late 2021 for major renovations and finally reopening in October of last year, our swim classes and sports now have a new facility to utilize, providing many improvements over the old one.
So far, the chemicals have been working really great. There hasn't been so many issues, and people have been able to just enjoy swimming.
However, the pool being closed for so long has caused some issues.
After being closed for 4 years, we didn't have the lifeguarding staff. So we are serving the high school mainly with a couple community programs, but not like we used to. And we're still not serving as many high school students as we used to. Probably half as many now have swimming as they did before the pandemic and before the remodel.
Although the pool isn't fully open to the public, it's still open to our many classes here at the high school.
The progression are kind of a little bit like upstairs. You have to take beginning weights before you take advanced weights. Before you take swim and dive or lifeguarding or one of those other advanced classes, you got to take foundations of swim.
If you've had a lot of swim lessons and we can do a swim test, you probably could get into swim for fit. But your basic course would be the initial foundations of swim.
While swimming isn't for everyone, it's truly amazing seeing the new facility compared to the old one.
It's a really cool place. I've really enjoyed seeing the makeover and how it's transformed into this even better and hopefully will last much longer pool.
And soon enough, the public will be able to enjoy it as well.
The ultimate goal is to have a complete program back, swim lessons, rec swims, adult programs, all of that stuff by June.
Even if you're not a swimmer, you can still help out or enjoy our various sporting events that take place at the pool, and we hope to see you down there.
Of course, if you're going to go swimming here at South, you're going to need a lifeguard. Lucky for you, one of those classes here teaches you just that, how to be one. Hey, quit splashing in the pool!
If you've ever been to any sort of open pool, there's been a lifeguard there with you. But how do you become a lifeguard?
Our lifeguarding course is actually a PE class. So you can take it and not get certified, or you can take it and get a credit for PE, or you can get an elective credit. There is an option, and this is what makes this class unique, is you can be certified through the American Red Cross and become a lifeguard, get a job, that kind of stuff. I took this class when I was a student. I worked as a lifeguard and when I went to college. So it was just extra money, and I never thought I would ever make it into a career, but weird things happen. And 40 years later, I'm teaching it, and I'm a swim instructor and still doing the same thing I did through high school and college. And so it just opens up new ways to do things and, opportunities for people.
But why would you want to get your certification here at SK?
Most lifeguarding classes, you have a bunch of written tests and stuff and so on. Because we're on semesters, we actually have a waiver through the American Red Cross where we're called a skill-based class. So you never have to take a written test, you never have an oral test, you have to show me every skill that a lifeguard would perform.
In order to become a certified lifeguard, you learn CPR, dives, and rescues of many kinds. Anyone can become a lifeguard, so sign up for lifeguarding next year to join our program.
So it's kind of a cool class to take.
The next class, which is behind us, is CAD. CAD is short for computer-aided design and allows students to explore the engineering and architecture fields.
On your way to class, you might have passed this room, 178B, also known as the CAD lab. Inside is a teacher waiting to meet you.
My name is Merle Williamson. I teach the architecture, engineering, and robotics programs here at South Kitsap High School.
Mr. Williamson's classes have a lot to offer.
The Intro to CAD is an introduction to the design software that's used throughout the world for designing two-dimensional and three-dimensional objects. Programs that use the 3D printers can use those files, as well as CNC machines and laser engravers and printers. The architecture class deals with the design and function of buildings, residential houses, the three-dimensional software that gets used as well is introduced. And then with the robotics and the aerial drones, we use that class to introduce you to Arduino boards, interface of sensors, and the little controller board.
He guides and teaches you through many hard but fun learning programs.
Mainly we use AutoCAD, Inventor Pro, Revit 3D architecture, Rhinoceros program. It's also a 3D program.
But why should someone take his classes?
If you're interested in building things, you need plans in order to create from. You can create your own plans if you know how that lays out. The engineering program gets you ready to be hired in as a field technician or designer in the office, entry level. It's always a fun and exciting thing to be around projects that get built, and having that background sets you up and ready to go.
So if you pass this room again, maybe you should pop in and say hello, or even better, take one of his classes in the future.
If students prefer a less digital approach in planning, then this next art class showcases how you can use your hands.
Yeah, I'm Donald Sandman.
This is Mr. Sandman's sculpture class. He is very familiar with multiple art genres.
I teach sculpture, AP drawing, studio art, intermediate drawing and painting, and I've taught the other drawing and painting classes as well. I've been teaching sculpture for, I'd say, the past 7 years. Classes in room 262, so just from the commons lunchroom area. It's just out the double doors headed south to the buses, and it's the first room on the right.
Turning something like scraps and wires into something amazing, an amazing piece of art. In this semester-long class, you will learn the many ways you can sculpt and create.
The class is about students learning different techniques with different materials, sort of as an introductory class into sculpture. So we do some additive sculpture, subtractive, and modeling type things. Examples would be origami is a modeling technique where we're changing the shape of something. We do some additive things where we do assemblages, which are three-dimensional collages. Our Alexander Calder type mobiles, that's all additive. And then we do some subtractive where we're doing some plaster carving. So we mix up plaster and carve it. And some wire projects where we're bending, and that's currently what we're working on this semester.
But what happens if students want to take all those ideas and turn them into full-size projects? South Kitsap High School also has those options. Like many schools, South does have an incredible wood shop, but in addition to that, there's a full-time metal shop. Let's take a look.
The world of welding. Welding is one of few trades that is in constant high demand and has grossed lots of much-needed popularity. Not only is welding a high-paying job, but you don't need a college degree to be a welder, and you can work your way to a welding certificate within as little as 9 months. Lucky for you, our very own South Kitsap has a welding class that you can utilize if this career path piques your interest. So let's take a look into our school's welding program. Let's dive a little deeper on what the atmosphere is like in welding class.
The atmosphere in welding class is sometimes a little bit chaotic. We've got up to 25 students running around doing all sorts of different projects at the same time. We have a huge variety of skills that the students learn, and that requires a variety of different projects. So right now we've got a handful of students that are out there stick welding, some of them for the first time in their lives. Meanwhile, we've got some others that are doing some precision measurement, cutting and drilling through metal.
I like welding just because it's hands-on and you can learn different skills, whether it be MIG or stick, and just if you go into industry, whether it be like shipyard or any of that, it really helps you learn before you get there.
It surprisingly doesn't take much to get into welding.
There's no prerequisite for welding. The entire class is based around safety. When you walk in, it looks, sounds, and feels a little chaotic, but we're able to manage a good shop, a good safe shop, because at the beginning of the semester, we take the time to learn all the fundamentals of how to be safe, why we're safe, and when to use different safety practices based on what we're using. Now, in there, we've got a few different high-risk tools that the students learn how to use safely, which is really cool because for me, the most terrifying idea would be learning how to use a dangerous tool on my own at home for the first time. And here we get to use everything from bench grinders to angle grinders to drills of all sorts of different sizes and powers. And after that, we get into a little bit some of what the students consider the more exciting stuff. They get to actually weld, which involves either some incredibly high voltage, which can be a little bit dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, in order to, high enough voltage to melt steel, or a hot enough torch to melt steel, which is also pretty exciting because, who doesn't love fire? So that's kind of like the exciting power tool and welding aspect, but the real skills that not every student loves to practice, but the ones that get them far in life after they leave here are the precision measurement and attention to detail skills.
The students have learned several skills from this class.
I recommend this class to a lot of students. It teaches resourceful skills that you can use later on in life, whether that be you're going into the trades, or even skills as just a homeowner or an adult later on in the future. There's a lot of things that you learn that will come up later in life, and if you remember it from this class, you'll be proficient at it.
But whether or not you decide to get into welding, this class is very beneficial and can help build skills you'd use in the future. So if you enjoyed what you just heard, join the class. It won't hurt.
Traditionally, South Kitsap athletic programs have won a lot of accolades over the years, but what keeps those athletes going, it often gets overlooked. Our last featured program showcases the students of AthMed.
Here at South Kitsap, we have many athletes who are consistently injured while playing their respective sports. Luckily for them, South Kitsap has an athletic medicine program that is here to treat any athletes who need it.
When athletes come in, we try to prioritize who needs what. If people go into practice and we need tape, we can get that done pretty easily. If an athlete needs an evaluation where we can figure out what's going on, sometimes that's just talking with them and then giving them some exercises to do. Sometimes that's taking them over to a table and doing a full evaluation and figuring out exactly what's going on.
On top of treating injuries for athletes, athletic medicine helps keep our athletes healthy on the field by preparing for games.
Every day is a little different. So most of the time before practices, we're giving some treatment, we're getting our water, ice, medical kits ready. During practices, we try to go to the practice and be involved with the practice and walking around, talking with the athletes, making sure they're okay. After practice, now we got to bring all our stuff back inside and then clean it and do any treatments afterwards. Tomorrow, like for the varsity football game, it's going to be it's a big, because we have the other team too, so we set up water and ice for them. We have water and ice on our side. Plus we have an AED, a splint kit, a treatment table, and some crutches down there, plus all our other medical supplies, just in case something does happen.
How does athletic medicine do all this? Athletic medicine can do this with the help from student athletic trainers taught here at South through the athletic medicine classes.
All right, athletic medicine here at South Kitsap really consists of 4 classes now. We have a semester class of internal medical careers. kind of get people's feet wet into medicine, anatomy, really look at a medical career, try to see if students really want to go into that. And then we have our Athletic Medicine 1 and our Athletic Medicine 2. We do a lot of vocabulary on a weekly basis. We learn about the body, we learn about legal terms, first aid and CPR. We get advanced CPR training in our second year class. And we kind of, as time goes on, we start adding in. We'll start with foot and ankle and go to the knee and shoulder, elbow, wrist and hand, back. And we just go through the body and learn the anatomy and also injuries and how to treat them.
If you want to be a part of athletic medicine, consider signing up for athletic medicine during class registration so you can help our athletes here at South, or maybe learn the first aid you may need to help someone else.
Well, that concludes our show today, but hopefully you've enjoyed an inside look at SK's best programs. If you're looking forward to more Wolf Tracks, check out our YouTube channel, SKHS Video Production, for more great content. See you next time.